Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about June on the Range. It is the second Booktube event that I am participating in this summer. The other one being, of course, Book Trek, The Wrath of the Summer of Trek, which I'm very excited for. But I'm also excited for this. If you're watching this video, you probably know what June on the Range is. It started by Michael K. Vaughan, and this year the challenge is to read 4 westerns, one by Louis L'Amour, one by Zane Grey, and then 2 other novels by just 2 other authors of your choosing. And I've got 4 selected that I think I'm going to stick to these 4. But before I get to that, I just wanted to briefly talk about the book that I'm currently reading, and it's almost acting as a prequel to June on the Range. So what I'm reading now is a history book. It's called Our Beloved Kin by Lisa Brooks. And I say it's a prequel to June on the Range because, of course, I'm sure if you're of a certain age, now this is kids many generations older than me, would of course play cowboys and Indians. I didn't when I was younger. At that point, westerns in cinema had just kind of gone out of style, so we didn't play cowboys and Indians. But this is a harrowing, true story of the English settlers in what would become New England in Massachusetts, Plymouth, and Connecticut, and Rhode Island, and their conflict with which seems to be mostly Algonquin-speaking natives, and how there was encroachment upon land, and it gets pretty ugly. I'm going to make a separate video on this book. I will mention that I am struggling a bit with it. I'm enjoying certain aspects of it. Certain other aspects I'm not necessarily enjoying. I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, but I'll save that for another video. And I'd also like to just explore and understand, okay, what causes me to have trouble with a book? But I'll talk about that in another video. Again, this is Our Beloved Kin, A New History of King Philip's War by Lisa Brooks. If you're looking for a history book that's speaking about just Native Americans, I do recommend it, even though I'm having trouble with it. I am enjoying it. I'm learning a lot. We'll talk about that later. But moving on to the westerns that I've selected. The first one being, and it's the first one that I do want to read, it's a Louis L'Amour novel. I've always wanted to read a western. I've always wanted to read Louis L'Amour. There's one Louis L'Amour novel that I've had sitting on my shelf for probably about 15 years now. I think I started reading it in college, and I just didn't like it. I think it was the main character. I don't recall his name, but I believe it was a book in a loose series about this one character. So I think when I started reading it, I realized, this is a character readers already know, and I don't know who this is. So I think I stopped it pretty shortly after maybe just about 20 pages. So that's not the novel. The novel I have had sitting on my shelf, I'm not going to read. What I'm going to read is Louis L'Amour's Hondo. This is, if you look up, best of L'Amour novels, this is inevitably going to be at the top of that list. This was, of course, made into a movie with John Wayne. I have not seen the movie. I think after I read this, I think maybe I'll watch the movie and maybe do a movie reaction on the John Wayne Hondo. But anyway, I'm going to read the book first, and I'll of course talk about it when I finish it. So I'm very, very excited to read this. I haven't read the back. I don't know what it's about. I just know that it's a popular one. So I'm excited to start that. So after I finish the history book that I'm reading, I'm planning on reading this next. After I finish that, just kind of going through my June, I probably will break it up with some Star Trek novels. Of course, The Wrath of the Summer of Trek is going to last for 3 months. June on the Range is 1 month, so I might end up prioritizing westerns. But the next novel that I read is going to be Zane Grey's Last of the Duanes. This is interesting. On the back, this is described as a originally published either as a short story or a novella in a magazine in 1914. It was made into several movies, and in 1941, Zane Grey tried to have this be published in a longer novel form. And it was rejected because it has, I think on the back it says, it contained too much gunplay. So, I have maybe 4 Zane Grey novels. I read that on the back, and of course that piqued my interest. So I think this is going to be the Zane Grey novel that I read this month, and I'm very excited for it. After that, I don't read fast, so hopefully I make it to number 3 by the end of June, and I think I should. I should be able to squeeze this one in if I only read 3. I was very excited to find this book. This is T.V. Olsen's Eye of the Wolf. I got a lot of these authors. Of course, Lou L'Amour and Zane Grey are required for this year's June on the Range. But I selected this author, and I was very happy to find this book in a used bookstore because Michael K. Vaughan mentioned him in his video on the 10 best, or his 10 favorite Western writers, and this was one of them. In fact, he may have even mentioned this particular book. I'm not sure. It's very short. I don't know. I haven't read the back. I just know that Michael K. Vaughan describes this author as, I think he used the word edgy. So we've got lots of gunplay, edgy. I'm excited. So I should be able to get to this. Hopefully I make it. And of course, after I read it, I will make a video on it and post my reaction to it. So hopefully we will make it to number 4. And the author that I think, and again, I'm sure I will visit a used bookstore. Maybe I might find something different. So this is the one that maybe I'll read this one. Maybe I won't. But this is Wayne D. Overholser's. Overholser? I think I'm saying that right. This volume is called The Durango Stage. It's actually 3 stories. The Durango Stage is I think it's the Durango Stage is a novella, and then it's got 2 other short stories preceding it. I have another book by this author that I think is 2 novellas. I think I might pick this one just because it has a winter scene on the cover. Maybe that'll add a little variety, just a slightly different setting. But like I said, this one is the most up in the air. I may find something else in a bookstore, like if I find, say, True Grit. I haven't found that one yet, and I'm trying to stop ordering books from Abe Books. I'm trying to just keep them. All right, I have to find it in a used bookstore to kind of limit my intake. But like I said, this one, I'm a slow reader. If I make it to 4, it probably will be this book. Maybe it won't be. But anyway, those are the 4. I'm really excited about Lou L'Amour, and of course Zane Grey and T.V. Olsen. I'm excited to be reading my first Western. I'm excited to be able to make a video on it. Like I said, first I'll have to get through my history book. I'll be mixing in some Trek books this June. But I'm excited, and I hope to see you guys soon to talk about Hondo. Thank you.